Well, hello all you wonderful people out there in YouTube land. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back to the channel. And if you are viewing for the first time, I'd like to welcome you to the Texas Special YouTube channel. As always, I thank you fine folks for your views and your support. Now let's get this June 2023 product review underway. Full disclosure, this is being filmed in February. I have February through May already spoken for product review slots, and if you are a returning viewer, you'll notice that the railroad looks substantially different than it does in the preceding videos leading up to this. The reason I'm filming this product review in February for June is because these cars that I'm going to be reviewing are loaner cars. They are not mine, and I don't intend to hang on to them for 4 months. So let's get started on this review. I've got a friend of mine from the Texas Model Railroad Club who's a fellow Guager, and he recently came into possession with these gorgeous Lionel 30,000 gallon tank cars. He's got a 3-pack of these CTCX cars and a Lionel Freight Sounds 30,000 gallon tank car lettered for GATX. He was gracious enough to let me borrow them to do product reviews on them for some content. So I appreciate that. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a YouTube channel of his own. If he did, I would name drop him, but he don't, so I won't. Let's get diving off in here. You'll notice that I'm not doing a normal unboxing like I usually would, because these tank cars have some rather delicate details. Given that they're not mine, I want to minimize handling as far as taking them in and out of the box to avoid risking damaging some of the finer details on these cars. We'll start off with the CTCX car. One of the three, they're all the same, minus the car number. Each one has an individual car number, so given that that's the only real difference, I failed to see the need to have all three of them in front of the camera and look at them all three at the same time when they're identical. Gorgeous cars, but identical cars. We'll start off with obviously the side of the car. You've got some very good hand railing detail. The hand railings are a metal design, as are the ladders and the piping details. All separately applied, of course. You've got the triple valve detail, which you can't really see all that well because I need to work on the lighting in here. You've got the FRA or DOT mandated reflective tape simulated on the side of the car. Obviously it's just yellow paint, it's not actually reflective. All of the building dates and marks and load data is there, plate C. The body of the car is plastic. The truck's operating knuckle couplers, operating magnetic knuckle couplers, and separately applied details, and obviously the wheels and axles are all metal. The car features rotating bearing caps. I'll see if my camera will cooperate so we can zoom in and check that out. Amazing, it actually worked. You can see the rotating bearing caps. I think that's just cool as heck. The trucks are sprung, but they're very stiff. Looking at the top side of the car, make sure the power's off. Alright, looking at the top side of the car, you can see the valve detailing. This hatch opens up. Got the loading hatch here, and you have the car number on the top of the car. Now in the real world, that would be on both ends. Looking at the B end of the car, we have a puncture shield. We have a puncture shield, we've got the hand railing details, we've got the the service and emergency reservoir detailing, and there's that triple valve you can see a little bit better. And I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but there is actually little air lines, piping that runs from the triple valve over here to the service reservoir and emergency reservoir. Handbrake detailing, and there is actually a little chain in there. You can't really see it because of the lighting, but it is there. As I said earlier, and as is status quo for Lionel, operating magnetic thumbtack style knuckle couplers. You can either uncouple this car with a magnetic uncoupling section or by use of a little tab on the side of the coupler right there protruding out. And you can see a little stirrup step detailing here on the sides of the car. Going around to the underside of the car, you can really see the detailing on this thing. The brake pipe and the unloading, the venting hatch or unloading hatch, whatever you want to call it, sticking out there. These cars are exquisite cars. They roll rather freely. That's very, very minimal effort to get it moving, and my railroad is kind of on a grade. That was done on purpose. And of course, forgot to mention it, but the requisite, come on now. I forgot to mention it, but the requisite placards. These cars are placarded as 1987 flammable. I can't remember offhand what that is, but if you want to look that up, go right ahead. Now let's take a look at this sound-equipped car. Alright, this is the Lionel 30,000 gallon tank car with freight sounds. Car is identical to the other car. The only difference is that it's lettered for GATX and there are no puncture shields on the ends. Everything else is the same. Hand railing details, brake pipe details, everything's the same. Car is detailed to the same standard as the previous car we looked at. Literally the only difference is this one makes sound. So, that being said, inside this hatch right here is the volume control screw. So we'll power this thing up.
Railroad defect detector, milepost 63.9, detector out.
Right now the sound is turned all the way up because it is kind of loud on the railroad. I'm turning the sound down and turning it back up. So we'll close that. The car draws power from the track just like your locomotives or your passenger cars would. There is a pickup roller in the center, a center pickup roller to draw power from this hot rail here in the center of the track. And the outer wheels act as the ground. To manipulate the controls of the car, you take on the A end, on the A end of the car, not the B end, the A end of the car, you release the hand railing from this clasp right here, and it just folds right down, swings out of the way. Rotate the end cap of the car and very gently pop it out. You're going to have to kind of pull it out at an angle. And right there it is. You have your max min switch. What that does is that that regulates the frequency of the flange squeals and flat spots. In this modern era, we'd need a supermax. In this modern era with precision scheduled railroading, we'd need a supermax feature to accurately represent that. And then you have the on-off switch for the sounds. Obviously it's on. So sound, no sound. This module does sit kind of loosely in here, so be mindful of that. Don't try, I don't know why you would, but don't try opening this holding the car upside down, where this could potentially slide out and cause unnecessary stress on the soldered connections of the wire. Further note, haven't experienced it personally myself, but something I've read and seen and heard from other people with these cars. They do not tolerate tight curves very well. So the wider the radius, the better. Lionel, in an effort to save a few pennies, used essentially the shortest power wires possible to run from the trucks to the soundboard. So there has been lots of complaints from people who've bought these, saying that after a while the wires essentially rub the insulation off or completely break away from the soldered connections, either at the soundboard or on the trucks, after extended periods of time running on tight curves like your 036, 048, and so on. Everyone I've talked to says 060 and better is what these cars are happiest with. I've got 072 on this railroad, so and honestly, they're not going to run on this railroad for long. Once I'm done with this review, I might hang on to them for another couple days, just till mine and my buddy's schedules sync back up, and then they're going to be off the property. They'll probably be back at some point, because my friend that's letting me borrow these does not have a railroad of his own. He lives in a small apartment, whereas I have a 20 by 20 garage. So given that he's an O-gauge guy too, and I've got an O-gauge railroad and we're friends, it's not that far out of the realm of reality that he comes over and runs some trains here on the railroad. This car does also feature the rotating bearing caps. I will try to show you that. I think that's about as good as it's going to get. All right. All around, these 30,000 gallon tank cars are absolutely gorgeous models, and having these cars here at the house to review has only made me want to procure enough for an ethanol train, even more so, to my wife's pleasure. So I'm gonna shut the heck up and get the railroad fired up, and I tell you what, we'll let these babies run and do their thing. I've got my SD70 Ace, my UP70 Ace, along with a couple of covered hopper cars for buffers, and of course the mandatory caboose, and we'll run us a unit train.
Dispatcher, this is local freight. Requesting permission to depart on the north track.
Local freight, after we can figure out the south track. North track is currently out of service.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. I guess just give us a call on one when you get tickets.
Will do, over.
overall, super awesome job by Lionel. All the cars stayed coupled together. They didn't have anything pop open, which I have seen lately out of Lionel as a problem with some of their newer equipment. Couplers want to open when the train is going down the track, but everything stayed together. The cars performed flawlessly, and that Freight Sounds tank car sounded amazing. You can imagine having 2 or 3 of those spread out throughout the length of a decent train. Be a pretty cool effect. Super bummed that I don't get to keep these, but really happy that I had a chance to play with them for a little bit and review them. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope y'all found it entertaining and informative. Thank you for watching. As always, thank you for the support. I've got the best subscribers out there on YouTube, and y'all have a good one. Texas Special out.